He didn't shout. He didn't justify. He didn't ask for sympathy. He just vanished. While the world chuckled, ridiculed, and whispered behind closed doors, he stepped away. Straight into the fire. Alone. They labeled him a failure, a nobody, a man going nowhere. He had no wealth, no clout, no status. His dreams had crumbled, and his confidence had gone quiet. But in that stillness, something began to take root. Something fierce, something indestructible. In the beginning, he fought back tears in silence. The nights dragged, cold, hollow, and without a single message checking in. No one asked how he was holding up, because deep down, no one genuinely cared. The same people who once smiled at him had already closed the book on his story. They thought it was over, and for a while, maybe he did too. But he didn't beg for attention. He didn't flood social media with posts about being broken. He didn't fish for compassion. He did something far more dangerous. He stood in front of the mirror and took full responsibility. "This is mine," he said. "All of it. No more blaming. No more excuses. No more pity. I created this mess, and I'll fix it. Alone." That was the moment his former self died. The world didn't notice. They were too preoccupied, laughing and gossiping. But while they whispered, he worked, in silence, rebuilding one brick at a time. He began waking up before dawn. No alarm clock, just fuel in his veins. He hit the gym with fire. Every rep was a response to an insult. Every drop of sweat, a rebuttal to doubt. While others chased cheap thrills, he chased growth. He read books, studied discipline, learned about money, mindset, stillness. He cut out the parties, stopped explaining himself, quit wasting energy. He chose stillness over noise, sacrifice over indulgence, boredom over chaos. And his transformation wasn't loud. It was quiet, relentless, brutal. People didn't see him for months. Some assumed he moved away, others thought he gave up. But the truth was, he was building something sacred, a new version of himself, sharper, stronger, clearer, so unrecognizable that when the world saw him again, they wouldn't believe he was the same man. He became unshakable, the kind of man whose presence speaks louder than words, the kind who doesn't chase people, not for love, not for friendship, not for validation, because he realized the most dangerous man is the one who rebuilds himself in silence. When he returned, the room went still. He moved differently, looked different, spoke less. But when he spoke, every word struck deep. The same people who once mocked him now asked, "How did you do it?" But he only smiled, not out of pride, but because they didn't deserve the explanation. They didn't feel the pain. They didn't see the nights he cried himself to sleep, the mornings he had no strength but got up anyway, the days he was tempted to quit but chose not to. They weren't there when his bank account hit zero and all he had was a burning vision and stubborn belief. So he stayed, silent. Because explaining your rebirth to those who never believed in you is pointless. He had become a storm in human form, not loud but unstoppable. And he wasn't bitter anymore. He didn't seek revenge. He didn't want them to suffer. He just wanted space, stillness, freedom. Because when you truly rise, you don't return to prove people wrong. You move forward to fulfill a purpose. The laughter stopped. The rumors died. And what took their place was respect. Quiet, hesitant, genuine. Not because he asked for it, but because he embodied it. Every man will face a season of solitude. A time when he feels broken, misunderstood, even ridiculed. And in that season, he must choose decay or evolve. And when he rises, not with noise, but with undeniable results, the world takes notice. This man, he took the hard path. He sacrificed ease, comfort, even his own ego to become the man his dreams required. He didn't lean on motivation. He lived on discipline. He didn't wait for support. He became his own foundation. He didn't seek answers outside. He went inward and fought battles no one ever saw. Do you realize how rare that is? To hit the ground with no one there to lift you and still stand up again. To be counted out and still rise, not just to survive, but to thrive. That is power. That is manhood. That is real transformation. And the truth, we all carry that power, but most never use it. They get hurt and hide, get judged and crumble, get betrayed and stay bitter. Not him. He turned every scar into armor, every failure into fuel, every insult into motivation. He didn't announce his return. He just showed up, reborn. And that's the part no one tells you. Real growth? It's silent. You don't need to broadcast it. You don't need to explain it. You just need to commit to it. Daily, ruthlessly, obsessively. Until the results make so much noise, the world has no choice but to hear. Understand this. The man who rebuilt himself in silence was never doing it to impress anyone. He was trying to save himself. He was tired of being a ghost in his own life, tired of pretending he was fine when he wasn't, tired of living by expectations that weren't his. So he let it all go. The fake smiles, the empty friendships, the need for applause. He chose solitude, and in that sacred space, he met his true self. Not the wounded child, not the insecure man, but the warrior, the leader, the storm. And now, he doesn't care if you remember who he was. He's focused on who he's becoming. To every man hearing this, listen carefully. You have every right to disappear for a while, to close the door and focus inward, to be misunderstood, doubted, laughed at, because the pain of remaining the same is far worse than the temporary pain of isolation. And when you return, strong, solid, focused, no one can ever take that from you. You owe no one an explanation for your silence. You owe them no updates. What you owe is to yourself, to become the man you can respect when no one's watching. The man who walks through fire and doesn't blink. The man who needs no applause because his reflection already applauds every morning. This is your time, not to shout, not to post, but to vanish and build. Let them gossip, let them mock, let them doubt, because when you rise, and you will rise, those same voices will rewrite history to claim they always believed in you. But you'll know the truth. They weren't there, but you were. And you didn't just make it through. You became unstoppable.